In the adoption of generative AI and new ways of working, I think probably the most important leadership skill right now is curiosity. I think leaders need to be incredibly curious about what is possible.
It has given leaders a massive amount of facts and information right at their fingertips. And what that means really is, ironically, that leaders have to become even more human.
One of the key roles that leaders should have is, first of all, identify what AI can do for his organization. Have that bigger picture of vision in his mind.
And that's at every level, whether you're thinking about your AI experts who need those in-depth knowledge, skills, experience, or whether you're thinking about the general workforce and how they might adapt. What's their behaviour when it comes towards change, and human beings are naturally a bit resistant. So how are they thinking about how they're going to embed that cultural change within their organisations?
There is so much change happening, and we're right at the start of that process, that leaders need to be able to adopt a very open, very curious mindset. So if we can be excited about learning and curious about what that really means, I think we can create a culture where we can be adoptive and adaptive to all the stuff that's happening right now.
It's embedding a culture of constant testing, evaluation, piloting and going around in a virtuous circle.
So there's a duty of care when we are rolling out these tools of how do we support people, and particularly in the OU, one of the things we're looking at, we've got some work going on at the moment of what are the skills and support we need for our students going forward to adopt and really use these tools, not just in our teaching, but also kind of the support services. We need to remember, if you're an organisation, you have your workforce, you have your colleagues, and how do we support those?
Focus on how we are helping the customer's problem, or how we are helping any consumers, improving the customer experience, reducing costs, and making processes efficient.
Leadership needs to change the culture of an organisation, and that's not easy, to carry everybody with you. And I would say that's the main skill, motivating staff so they feel enthused to change the way they work.
I think there's a really important interlink here between the organisations and the community of Milton Keynes too. It's not only important for talent retention, but it's also about bringing what happens in organisations out into the city and understanding that there's a mutual relationship there.
How do we bring these spaces and create these opportunities for conversations to explore how we use it, to build confidence? What can we do to create those spaces to really help kind of upskill people?
We also need to look at developing all our soft skills, about being empathetic, about listening, and also above all actually being intelligent. Because while there is so much of dependence on artificial intelligence, I think there's a real risk of our own skills, of creativity, of intelligence itself, of basic common sense disappearing. And I think these are the qualities which we absolutely need to focus on so that we remain on top of what the technology can bring to us.